Good morning, all. I am CA Bhavi Chakkar. On behalf of the Professional Skills Enrichment Committee, ICAI, I welcome all the participants in today's webcast on the Confident Communicator. And on this occasion, I would like to invite CA Kalpana Thakur Madam to present over here on today's session for the Confident Communicator. Let me brief you out first regarding this session. But in that case, I would first like to welcome all the dignitaries who have already attended the session. I would like to invite first and say a hello to Sia Jai Shera sir, who is the chairman to this Professional Skills Enrichment Committee. Welcome, sir. Are you there?
Yeah, thank you, Bhavi.
And we have today a wonderful session would be taken up by a very experienced soft skill trainer, Shia Kalpana Thakur Madam. Ma'am is a dedicated chartered accountant driven by her passion for training and making positive impact in the life of others. She is considered as one of the profound public speaker and a soft skills trainer, having a wide experience in corporate trainings and motivational speaking areas. She brings over 10 years of extensive experience in her audit and assurance domain also. She is a seasoned financial professional with experience in Deloitte and currently excels as a partner at Abhishek K. Jha and Company Chartered Accountants. She also founded Art of Influence, a training services firm specializing in soft skills as a communication, public speaking, and storytelling. Recently, she featured on the Josh Talk platforms. Kalpana ma'am combines a financial acumen with a passion for personal development, offering a unique journey marked by the expertise in both domains, which is a very important area for the chartered accountants to grow up. Beyond her professional endeavors, she is also a social activist, a toast maker, empaneled faculty with ICAI for NCS OC batches, and a MEPSC certified master trainer. Committed to empowering individuals and organizations alike, she stands as a seasoned professional with a holistic approach to growth and development. I am very much enlightened to bring her to the session and welcome her for further deliberations. Ma'am, welcome you on this session, and I hand it over to you.
Thank you so much.
Before going forward, I would like to request our chairman, C.A. Jayachera, for his opening and the address to August gathering.
Thank you, Sambhiji. Thank you. A very good afternoon. This is the webinar of Skills Committee for the year. Professional Skills Enrichment Committee is a very, very important committee. Friends, while Directors Committee and GST committees are very important, the bread and butter, as we say. But along with the technical skills, the important things of soft skills is also there, and many times we overlook this. So it's very, very essential that we keep on working on the skills. Today, we have a fantastic speaker, CA Kalpana Thakur, and the topic is very, very important, the confident communicator. Communication is the most important. Friends, you might be very intelligent, you might be very knowledgeable, but if you cannot communicate properly, then I think it's very difficult, the other person cannot exist. I think the video was paused for some time, some disturbance. Now you can hear me, I assume.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know whether whatever I spoke was reaching there or not, but let it be so. It might be a technical glitch. So today's topic is very, very important. Confident communicator. Communication is the lifeline. Was for everyone. You might have a very great potential. You whatever, but if you cannot communicate to your clients, to your colleagues, to your team members, to your subordinates, to your boss, then probably that purpose is not solved. So this is a very important session. And when it comes to communication, some of the things that I have heard about, once Plato said, wise men speak because they have something to say, and fools because they have to say something. Now, this is a very beautiful thing, and which talks about what communication is about. I hope I'm audible. Yes, I think so. Well, communication is the bridge between confusion and clarity. And communication, many people believe, Kalpana, many people believe that communication is just exchange of facts, ideas, emotions, opinions, or like that. But there is a very narrow thing about communication. The most important thing about communication is that persuasive aspect. You want the other person to understand your viewpoint the way you want it, and possibly also act upon it. This is where comes that confident communicator. And problems arise when there is either too much, uh, either there is too much or too little of communication. So, and in most of the cases, it is said that, now that is also what George Bernard Shaw once said, that the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. Now that's very, very beautiful, that many times we interact or we talk and we believe it is communication, but it is just an illusion. Communication only happens when you are at the same page. You make the other person come at the same page. You really convey your idea the way you want it, and you convey in such a way that the other person understands it. So you have to use the language which he understands. You have to look at the scene. You have to look at the circumstances. You have to understand his understanding. And in accordance with that, you have to communicate. And I think that is a very, very, very crucial thing. Communication is not only about vocabulary. It is not only about language. It is not essential that a person has to necessarily, a chartered accountant has to necessarily communicate in English only or something like that. But very important thing is, who is the intended person with whom you are communicating? How can he understand? What is his background? Right? What is his motivation? The very, very important thing. What is his motivation? Right? What language does he understand? And in accordance with that, if you put up your point, I think that is what is the crux of communication. I'm sure Kalpana is going to take care of this thing ahead. And this is a very, very important thing. Our program, I must thank the Vice Chairman of this committee, CA Abhay Khajed, for planning out this program. And at the same time, I would thank Bhavi Thakkar as well as Sambit Mishraji, Dr. Sambit Mishraji, the secretary of the committee, who is the backbone. And I'm sure we'll keep on doing more and more programs for members. Members, you can keep on interacting with us and you can give us new topics so that we can keep on adding the topics and speakers. Whatever you feel that we should take up these topics, please communicate to us. And Professional Skills Enrichment Committee is your committee. We'll be very happy to come up with new topics. Thank you very much. Bhavi, back to you.
Thank you so much, sir. And on a very short note, I would like to thank Jai Bhai that, sir, you have always impressed whenever you have said the things which are very clear and focused regarding our profession, regarding the communication. You have always insisted whenever you meet people in all the forums that communication is the link between everybody. What we speak matters a lot, like how our signature matters a lot. So, sir, I'm very happy that today the confident communicator and the Professional Enrichment Committee will give much more to the younger chartered accountants and the aspiring chartered accountants on this platform. Thank you so much, sir, for inspiring on this topic. Now, I welcome CA Kalpana ma'am again. Ma'am, please, over to you.
Thank you so much, our moderator for today's session, CA Bhavi Thakkar ji, for a heartwarming introduction. And Vice Chairman of Professional Skill and Enrichment Committee, CA Jai Chera sir. I hope I have pronounced it correctly.
The rectification. Chairman of the Professional Skills Enrichment Committee, CA Jai Chera.
Chairman of the, thank you, Sambit sir. Thank you. Chairman of Professional Skill Enrichment Committee. And very rightly, you have mentioned the importance of communication. This takes me to the era when I was doing my CA course. At that point of time, we were not having these type of initiative, and specifically this committee, Professional Skill Enrichment Committee, to work on our public speaking, and specifically communication skill during our tenure of studies. So let's start today's our discussion. We have heard a lot from Jay sir about communication. And from the time we born, we are actually communicating, isn't it? Is my screen visible, Bhavi ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. That's visible.
So the day we born, we actually start communicating, isn't it? Maybe not with the help of words, but the first communication that we made to this world, what it is exactly. Bhavi ji, can you please tell me? So you will be the audience for me, as it is a one-way communication. I hope my audio is clear.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
Am I audible?
Ma'am, please try again. You're a bit not audible.
Okay. Am I audible now?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
By keeping my video off. Today is the day of technical glitch. I'm facing bandwidth issue. Am I audible properly?
Yes, ma'am. Now you are.
So we will so my slides are changing. The day we just give me a minute. I'll just try to change the connection source.
Bhavi ma'am,
Yes,
in
sir.
the meantime, you can share your experiences on this confident communicator.
Yes, sir. So I was just, when we first time met with Jai sir, our chairman for the Professional Enrichment Committee, you know, I was just talking to him regarding the first talk that we shared was not the CA, but in fact the communication. Sir, if you are there, hope you remember. For a chartered accountant, communication is one of the important part. You know, it's not only for the department that income tax we deal, or the GST departments, or any of the other statutory departments that we deal up, but for in basic lives. You know, what I feel is that the communication, and that also the confident communication, is a very important part, because whatever we say has a huge impact as we represent somewhere to the public. And when we are delivering something as an educated person to the society, it matters a lot that how we communicate. Sometimes our communication gives confidence to the other person in dealing with the transactions, dealing with the important issues, and so many other things. So what I feel is that today's session will enlighten all the youngsters and the aspiring CAs, and especially they should watch this, because once they have achieved a degree, that's not the only thing that they require in life. It is how to bring up with this degree, and that is through communication and a correct means of communication, which is very important. Ma'am, are you back?
Yes, I'm back.
Okay, ma'am, over to you.
Just give me a minute. I'm exporting my presentation out of Canva, so it will then load quickly.
No problem, ma'am. Sambit sir, how many participants have already joined?
I think 500.
Oh, that's great. So all the people who are there, you will definitely earn something out of it in 2 hours. And we will also require suggestions from you on this talk, as well as the new topics. And the Professional Enrichment Committee will definitely see that how we can bring best out of it. Our courses are designed in such a manner that we study about our finances, our related topics to chartered accountancy, and we have not included as a subject, but this is an allied subject which is very important, and hence it is requested to all the participants to enrich their knowledge regarding the soft skills through these sessions. Ma'am is very soon joining us with her presentation. In her slides, if we have just saw just a 5 minutes back, she was showing her different pictures, that from 2009 onwards to 2025, her journey of increasing the confidence in all her photographs is depicted. Kalpana ma'am was asking that, ma'am, you are able to see what I am projecting. I'm just able to see that how her confidence grows as the time passes. And it is only because the more and more we practice in that same field. I hope that's true, ma'am.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking it through. Now I'm ready by the time presentation is getting downloaded. I was mentioning that the moment we are born, thank you so much, Bhavi ma'am. I was mentioning the moment we are born, we are able to communicate, right? What we want, we were able to communicate to the people around us, specifically to our mother, by crying. And by the time we grows, we know how to communicate. The language that people were using around us. We have learned that. Now, today, the point which we are going to discuss is my voice clear? Audio and video clear?
Ma'am, video is clear, but audio is somewhere not clear.
Today, we are going to talk about communication, not one-to-one, because that we are all, most of the time, or I must say all the time, are able to master. Today, we are going to talk about communication one-to-many. Is it clear now? Or still it is breaking?
Ma'am, now it's better.
Great. So what happens when we talk about communicating one-to-many? What is that thing that stops us? Bhavi ma'am, we would like to hear your experience, because you have mentioned you were a soft skill trainer
Yes,
at certain point of time, and at still.
Ma'am, your voice is still not clear, ma'am.
Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
I was asking that when it comes to communicating one-to-many,
Yes.
most of the people, most of us feel nervous, and why it happens?
Ma'am, sometimes people think they are facing a natural fear of communicating to one-to-many. One of the reasons is fear.
Yes. Exactly, fear. Before we begin into step by step, what we need to do to become a confident communicator, I would like to tell you my story in short. If you have been attended any of my session in the past, you must be knowing my childhood from where I belong. It is one of the slum of Mumbai. In 2009, to cut a long story short, let's begin from the year 2009 when I have started my CA study. From 2009 to 2013, the year I have qualified as a CA, as a chartered accountant. However, in these years of being into articleship, it has actually not boosted my confidence. Most of the time, I'm someone who not blame, exactly the reason of me being shy, introvert, and a person with full of self-doubt was majorly because the surrounding from which, the environment from which I was coming. there was upliftment in my personality only in terms of knowing the technicalities. Being a CA student, there was growth in my personality. But when it comes to expressing myself to people around, I was at the same place from where I have started. 2013, yeah, so my presentation is downloaded. And today is the day of technical glitches. Is my screen visible, Bhavi ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. You are visible.
And audio clear?
Audio is also clear, ma'am. Now go ahead. No problem.
Okay, thanks. So what I was mentioning, 2009 is the year when I have started my CA study. So from 2009 to 2013, I've qualified. And as I have mentioned, there was a growth in my knowledge as a CA student, as a professional, newly qualified professional. But there was no growth or change per se in my personality being in terms of communicator. In my articleship days, I got the understanding and a kind of a goal I set for myself that I want to work for a big four. With being an introvert, it took me a lot of effort and many attempts to crack through one of the big four, that was Deloitte Mumbai. I got through there, telephonic round, then face-to-face HR round, technical interview and partner round. Being an introvert, I was able to manage it very well because my technical, as I mentioned, my technicals were strong and I was a hardworking, as CA are normally hardworking and consistent. Isn't it, Bhavi ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Every CA student has seen this space, and every chartered accountant who is now a CA knows how hard work has to be put in CA.
Exactly. And that helped me to crack the interview. 2014 was the year I joined Deloitte. From 2014 to, in your right, the last digit is missing. It is in this process of exporting it from the Canva.
No,
So
no problem.
2018, from 14 to 2018 is the time I've served in Deloitte. And when I've embraced motherhood for the first time, I said goodbye to the corporate life. However, what the point to mention here, to discuss here, in this tenure of me being in Deloitte, I again did not worked upon my communication skill. One-to-one as well as one-to-many. When it comes to being into the partners meeting, client review meeting, planning and conclusion, in fact, the internal training programs of the organization, I was someone who used to keep mum. Then 2020, mother of two kids, the picture that you are watching to your extreme left is the time of peak of Corona. From 2019 to 2020, I was in my hometown, mother of two small kids, joined my husband's practice. I was not a front face of our firm, but someone who is managing together with two kids to work a little bit. And to tell you one thing, in this period, there was not growth in my confidence or my communication skill. In fact, there was a marginal and not marginal, substantial decrease in my confidence. Why so? Because in our hometown, Bihar, daughter-in-law are not supposed to step out of the house. So most of the time, my whole world was confined to our small house, being with my kids and my in-laws. And at that point of time, the best thing that has happened, Bhavi ma'am, is I was continuously attending the webinars organized by Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. And
Right.
in one of those webinar, what has exactly happened that has changed my life, we will discuss in few slides later on. But from 2020, at the end of 2022, we came to Delhi NCR. And All of you will surprised to know that the Kalpana who traveled most of the major city for the audit engagement in her tenure in Deloitte was now feeling afraid to step out of the house alone. Because in those period, I was mostly, as I have mentioned, confined to our house. What has exactly happened? Last year, the picture which you are watching in the middle is 2024. I have delivered my Josh talk. I have shared my childhood story on the bigger platform, and the picture you are witnessing in the extreme right is 2025 now. What has exactly changed? My dear fellow professional, today we are going to discuss 4 major action point, I must say, to transform yourself to a confident communicator. And when I mention confident communicator, 1-to-1, we all excel at it. It's 1-to-many. Because for me, for this Kalpana, it has taken more than a decade to work on her communication skill. So what it actually, how that transformation happened from 2022 to now, that we are going to discuss in these 4 strategies. First, we will discuss about breaking the mind barrier. When we talk about high in confident, can all of you take few seconds and imagine that when you are high in confident, at that point of time, what happens? I'll give you a quick example. Today, when we have started our presentation, my internet connection was not good. That's the reason I'm keeping my video off. Is it giving me high confidence or low? So at that point of time, I was little nervous, but the fact is, it is something, an external circumstances, right? When we are in high confident, we are confident our own self. At that point of time, when you have given a presentation or you are trying to pitch a client or go just look in the past how you have been appearing in the interviews or when you are negotiating your promotion or a discussion for that matter. Obviously, the performance will be great when you are high in confident. So we are talking a lot about confidence, right? What is confidence exactly? So Bhavi ma'am, what is confident according to you? So confident Bhavi Thakkar means what?
Ma'am, very first of all, the confidence itself is a thing that you believe in yourself. Whatever you are doing, you have faith in your own abilities, and your own abilities will become your strength.
Yes, what you believe on yourself. Bang on, Bhavi ma'am. So the point that we are going to discuss later on, we have got that answer for now. Thank you so much. So what is confidence? It is the feeling right now, how you are feeling. Take a pause and think. If I'll tell you, if let's take an example, chairman of our professional skill and enrichment committee, Jay sir will say that tomorrow you have to take a session, or any of the committee of ICI will reach out to you and asking your time that will you be able to present on this topic? What the feeling will you get in your mind at that point of time? Will you be able, what you'll say? Yes, I can do it. Or, oh, first of all, I'm having so many things to do. I want to work upon my material, the topic that I want to discuss, the presentation part, how to speak. No, I'm not ready at this time. So your feeling, your thought, what you say to all yourself all the time, are you able to do it? Any task that you decide up to, or you are feeling shaky? I don't know whether I'll be able to do it. It is confidence is not the absence of fear. even the great speaker orators are having fear, right? It is the decision to show up anyway. The pictures that I have shared with all of you at the start, these pictures, the transformation that has happened from 2022 to 23 and now onwards, it's my decision to show up, to take action. And how those actions has happened, we will discuss 30th September, as I have mentioned that in the period when I was in my hometown, the best thing I was doing was attending all the webinars, almost all webinars organized by ICAI. And in one of those webinar, Bhavi ma'am, I have asked, can I be a speaker on this platform? And luckily, I received a positive answer. It was an yes, and I have prepared.
You know, ma'am, where there is a will, there's a way.
Exactly. Where there is a will, there is a way. The question that I have asked to all of you, my dear fellow chartered accountants, that if you will be given an opportunity to speak in a week or so, what will be your answer? And why I am asking this question, that I'm having my own platform, a social initiative. Over there, sometime I reach out to aspiring speakers and asking them, will you be able to give presentation on this of your expertise area? And most of the time the answer is no. Here, I have approached and got the topic opportunities in environment law and opportunities in business law. And 30 days, I took the time to present for the session. I will not shy away by declaring that it was not a star performance or presentation. For speaking for 45 minutes, my presentation was close to 90 slides. However, thanks to that, I'm feeling fortunate and grateful for that attempt, that first step from my end towards being a confident communicator, a speaker. Today's session or past many sessions are result of that first step. So what do you feel when you think about taking your first step? What is going on inside your mind? Now let's discuss what is most of the time we are thinking. What actually stops us from not taking action? Can you please think? And if you are having a notepad with you, note it down what the exactly thought process, the inner dialogue that you are having with your own self when it comes to speaking up. Most of the time, in Hindi we say, सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग? What people will think about us. Am I good enough? Do I have something to share, something valuable to share? There is a lot of information available out there. What do I have to share on the table? First, let me read all the available content in the market. Let me see all the videos, then I'll decide how I have to start. Falling in the trap of perfectionism. Or most of you are here who have tried in the past, but it went well, and you have concluded that no, it's not your cup of tea. Overthinking, what will happen? So in my case, what it happened, the moment I have decided, or before the moment I have decided that I want to take action, before that, the only thing which is happening a lot, apart from every year taking a resolution to become a confident communicator, public speaker, the only thing which was happening is overthinking. Why I have not shown up? Why I haven't spoken up? Or most of the time what we do, we tend to compare ourselves with others. There are 4 stages of learning. to tell you in short. First is unconscious incompetency. We don't know there is a skill exist. Most of you are here in the second stage where you know conscious incompetency, you know the skill of being a ace communicator, a public speaker exist. And third is conscious competency. We know it and we are putting in a lot of effort to master it. Are you comparing yourself who has already put in their n number of years, like Bhavi ma'am, the way she has started the session? If you have noticed her accent, her command over the language, or you'll compare yourself who has put in their decades into this, into polishing their communication skill. If we are doing that, we are actually doing injustice. What the best comparison we can do is myself better than yesterday. Am I today better than what I was, my version I was yesterday? That comparison we have to do. Atomic Habits, what it says, 1% improvement every day. Now, again, a question to all of you, what comes first? It's confidence or action? Think about it. Will you feel confident and then you will take action? So after today's session, so we are going to end at 2 p.m. You will feel confident, motivated by looking at the pictures of mine from 2009 to 2025, how there is a transformation happen, or by motivated with the accent and command over the language by our today's wonderful moderator, Bhavi ma'am. You will confident and then you will take action, or it is other way around? So Bhavi ma'am, what it is exactly?
Ma'am, I would just like to share a thing that any person who is a listener to this, say a person who is listening to this session, listening is a indirect communication.
Yeah.
Because whenever you are scary of speaking, you have a doubt that you are putting something on the spot, but you don't underestimate the value of a listener. So I always say that for a good communicator, there should be a focus on his listening, built on it, because this is an art. Once you speak it out, whatever you speak it out will bring you something or the other on the part of communication, on the part of confidence. And when you are speaking, you are relating yourself to something. Say, for example, today, ma'am, when you are sharing your story of how the journey goes from 2009 to 2025, right? I would like to say that you are relating to the things. Somewhere the people listening to you across the forum are relating to your story. And when a person relates to the story, he can express. The expression comes when you are relating to the incident. Like the recent incident, that happened in Kashmir, we all relate ourselves. We imagine at one point of time that we are there in that valley. When you do that, your inner confidence brings you out the words. That is confidence. That is communication. And slowly, the more you practice, I think that gives you more confidence and that will bring you to action.
Thank you so much, Bhavi ma'am, for giving a new perspective, listening. So it all starts with mindful listening. Coming back to our question, what comes first is action, my dear friends. It's not the confidence that will lead you to the action. To give you my example, in the year 2023, when I came back from our hometown in Delhi NCR, I was mentioning I was having fear, even stepping out of my house alone without my husband. At that point of time, in one of the seminar in Faridabad branch of ICI, it was on faculty development program on for career counseling session. I was not able to raise my hand and ask a question that I was having at that point of time. And from past so many years, that wish and will which was accumulated in my mind and heart to speak up and to become a confident orator speaker was actually burst out on that day. All the time, what we just saw here, these things, that judgment, that self-doubt, and overthinking was happening. Action was not happening. But on that day, it was in May 2023, in that session, when I was not able to ask the question, on that day, that inner dialogue was happened with myself again. But this time, it was asking a question to myself that if not now, Kalpana, when? Immediately after that, I have enrolled myself in one of the club, Toastmaster it is, to work, to take action every single week on my communication and public speaking skill. And what happens when we take action? It helps us to build in our skill. I have mentioned here that here I was not a confident speaker. I have prepared a 90-slide PPT for the first time in my life. I'll just show you that PPT. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
So we are talking about taking the action and building the skill. So when you will take the action, you will know, even if we will not do it flawlessly, we will. No, so I'll share, stop sharing this immediately. I just want to tell that even that first attempt of mine, where I was not perfect for myself, there was a lot of scope of improvement. I learned to research. I learned to make a presentation. I learned to speak. Even if there was, let's take an example, 4 areas to improve, but that first action gave me many areas on which I have to work upon. And plus, I've learned how to present, how to speak in a Zoom meeting, having the Zoom setting. So, my dear friends, your worst speech ever will be far, far better than the one you will never give.
Very truly said, ma'am, that we need to communicate.
Yes. So action will lead you to the skill, and slowly and gradually, your action which will build your skill will give you the belief. We call it khud pe vishwas, and that will lead you to the confidence. So if you are someone who is waiting for having that eureka moment of external motivation or finding confidence from outside the world, you are going in the wrong direction. Take action. You mark my word, this I'm telling you from my own experience. Take small, even small step. Speaking in front of 4 people in your office or in your close professional network, in the seminar you are attending. If speaking or being a speaker in an offline and online sessions give you so much of butterfly in tummy, start small. Speak up. If you're someone like me who is afraid of speaking or asking a question in a seminar or webinar, start from there. And slowly and gradually increase the pace of taking your action. Again, we are revolving and having our discussion more around confidence. Because the foundation, if it will be built right, then we will have our structure strong. How many of you think that belief is the foundation of everything? And to remind you, the question to my answer from Bhavi ma'am was the belief. What is confidence? It is believing on our own capability that yes, we can do it. And as per one of my favorite book, Magic of Thinking Big, what author says that David Sandsworth is how to do it only comes to those who believe they can do it. So out of the 500 participants that we are having in this session, how many of you believe that yes, one day I'll be a speaker, I'll be a confident communicator? Ask to yourself, do you believe, or you have that small whispering inside? No, it's
I
not.
think everybody wishes to, and slowly with all this help of webinars and a confident speaker like you, they will get an inspiration to go ahead on this thought.
Exactly, ma'am. Exactly. And that's what I have mentioned, that I will give the credit to these webinars, because I have mentioned in those periods when I was, again, my video is not loading properly. I'm keeping it off. It is very uncomfortable to keep the video off and speak, but let it in this way. So I'm the product of the webinars. And here I would like to say your average of 5 people you spend your most time with. So we will talk about the environment in later part of our discussion. So the prima facie, how the confidence will build in having that belief on yourself, on your own capability, and surrounding yourself with positive people, having this positive self-talk, and not only taking the action, but getting the right feedback is also important, because only taking action will not lead us to the destination we want to reach. Right action is needed to reach the destination faster. In my today's presentation, what are the areas of improvement? One is the technical glitch I'm facing. So Bhavi ma'am will call me after the session. Yes, Kalpana ma'am. So post in the future session, please be mindful of the internet connection you are using. Isn't it a feedback to improve, Bhavi ma'am?
Ma'am, in fact, being calling you and telling that, sir, ma'am, go for the feedback, I would say this is one of the step. Whatever hurdle comes, you have to be confident, because you are believing in yourself that today I want to deliver and I will deliver. Right? Whatever the glitches comes is a part and parcel of everything that we have planned. Right, ma'am?
Exactly,
Please, ma'am,
exactly.
go ahead, because this confidence level we want, that whatever glitches comes, I will deliver.
Thank you so much for moderating today's session, and making this session interactive, and giving your punches and a dose of confidence to our participant from your own experience. Now, the next point is how to cultivate belief. So yes, I'm mentioning that, yes, believe on yourself. You can do it. In this world, whatever you dream, whatever you aim, whatever you goal for, it's you and only you who will be able to achieve it. But how to cultivate it, how to break that barrier in our mind, what we are having? First of all, as rightly mentioned by Bhavi ma'am few minutes back, irrespective of the hurdle that we are facing in our life, all of us are not having all the resources that we want at any point of time to proceed in the direction of our goal. Let's take a small example of time. Most of the aspiring speaker feel short of time. This is also a resource, right? That in the daily life of completing your personal and professional commitment, you don't get time to devote to your upliftment, to your learnings. Make that shift. What are you calling to yourself all the time? I'm not a speaker. Shift that identity. It is one of the learning from Atomic Habits. We are not in the process of achieving a goal. We are in the process of becoming a better version of ourselves. I am becoming a confident speaker. There is a drastic change in this identity, what you are telling to yourself. Check this immediately. Note it down that most of the time, what do you tell to yourself? In my session of NCS and OC batch, when I announced that all the students will have to come on the stage one by one to speak. And after having the session or after having rounds of their attempt, when I asked them what they were feeling when before coming on the stage and when they have spoken on the stage, most of them thinks that I will not be able to perform. So what is your identity that you have built in your mind? You need to check. First thing I would like to mention is visualization. What is visualization? In a simple language, if you're going to deliver a presentation in your office for any technical topic, let's take an example. You're going to train your junior employees about GST, latest amendment in GST, and this is the first time you're going to do it. Today is Friday. Let's suppose you're going to do it on Monday morning, first half. So what you will do, together with doing the preparation for the session, you will visualize that you are doing the presentation in a way that everybody is getting what you're trying to say, what you're trying to explain. You are making upliftment in their skill. You are confident. You're owning your material. You're owning what you're saying. And everybody is mesmerized the way you are presenting. It is what you are visualizing, the ideal way you want to be as a speaker, as a communicator. And it is proven. Many experiments have proved that visualization improve the performance as close as doing the real practice. How it helps? It actually reprograms our brain. It trains your mind to treat success as your default outcome. And let me tell you, no matter how much preparation you have done, how many iterations you have done of your presentation, but if your mind tells you, if your mind constantly keep on repeating that, oh, you can't do this, it is very difficult. You haven't done this in past. How you are going to do this? In spite of the preparation, you will not be able to perform. So practice together with working on our mind is equally important. It is what the power of our subconscious mind. It helps to build the confidence. It reinforces in our belief that yes, we can do it, and it reduces the anxiety. If we will visualize ourselves doing the performance, doing the presentation, star presentation, it will boost our confidence and it enhances the focus, and obviously it is going to increase the motivation. To give you my own example of how I used to do the use of visualization is in our previous house, we used to stay on the first floor and we were having a small park right in front of our house. And Bhavi ma'am, what I used to do in the morning after my rituals, exercise and meditation, I used to stand in my balcony for a couple of minutes and I used to visualize that this park is full of audience and they all have gathered to hear me. And
Yes.
the moment I have started speaking, all of them are mesmerized and motivated and making positive change in people's life.
Yes.
And this visualization I do right before every performance of mine, being it online, offline, and it helps. And yes, at the same time, I have mentioned together with the right practice. So it is not only the visualization that you have to do, my dear fellow chartered accountants, with the practice visualizing. So working on the physiology as well as working on your psychology. One of the great boxer of the history, Muhammad Ali, what he said, if your mind can conceive it, your heart believe it, then and then you can achieve it. So first, is your mind and heart in sync with what you wish for in your life? I hope all of you are with me and understanding what I'm trying to say. I've got a small clip of Muhammad Ali. He's the person, go out and check his videos, how much he was confident about his own capability. Right before becoming a world champion, he has mentioned this. And what he was actually doing, Bhavi ma'am, he was actually visualizing. He was actually affirming that, yes, I am world champion.
Yes, and every step he has faced.
Yes.
He is an icon.
So just do let me know if it is audible. Audible?
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
This uncle, Utah is alive right now. Everybody stop talking now. Attention. I told you, all of my critics, I told you all that I was the greatest of all time. Want to be stunned and listen? I told you today, I'm still the greatest of all time. Never again defeat me. Never again say that I'm going to be defeated. Never again make me the underdog until I'm about 50 years old. Right. Then you might get me.
So what he said, how confident he is that until he'll attain the age of 50, no one can beat him. That the confidence he was having. And when we are mentioning about visualizing, and in a couple of minutes we will discuss about affirmation, it's not only visualizing, or I must say daydreaming, it is having that conviction. Is every single cell of your body want what you want to achieve it? So why I brought this video here is to show you he was not only speaking, every single cell of his body was wanting what he was saying, that he is world champion, no one can defeat him. Do you have that urgency, that need to succeed, to work upon yourself, to take action? If yes, you are on the right direction. Together with visualization, affirmation will also help to clear that mind barrier that we have on not believing on ourselves. And what is affirmation? It is positive, powerful statement that we say to ourselves to shape our thoughts, boost our confidence, and build belief. They actually help us to reprogram our mind and replacing self-doubt with self-assurance. From last 2 years, one of my affirmation I have learned from BSR Bhupender Singh Rathod is, rest of my life is going to be best of my life. I also say that world's #1 motivational speaker, corporate trainer, and soft skill coach, Kalpana Thakur. So what do you tell to yourself? So to remind you, when we have discussed about the barriers that we have in our mind, so these barriers are basically the beliefs that we have into ourselves, into our thoughts, into our feeling, into our belief, and we have to come out of it. There is a very good book on power of positive thinking. there are chapters, 10 to 12 chapters, that says that if we come across a negative thoughts, so there's a step-by-step process mentioned. And to conclude what author wants to say, the moment any negative thought comes into our mind, we have to replace it with a positive thought. Because what happens once any negative thought comes into our mind, slowly and gradually we tend to believe it, our mind tend to believe it, and it becomes our reality. So here are some list of the affirmation that you can use to work on your positive self-belief, to come out of that barrier, that thinking if you have for yourself. I own every word I speak. I speak with a power and precision. I would like to mention that everybody please note it down. These are affirmation. Tony Robinson's share incantation. Go on the web and check Tony Robbins' incantation. What he says, that affirmation is simply mentioning that what the ideal state of ours that we want. Incantation is repeating this statement, our ideal state, with feeling, with enthusiasm. My voice commands attention. I connect, I influence, I inspire. Do you feel in this way? If not, these are the some example. You can customize what you want in yourself. The changes, the ideal changes. I am the message, I am the impact. I was born to speak with purpose. I'm becoming a better speaker every single day. I connect with my audience effortlessly. We have mentioned about changing our identity, what you are telling to yourself all the time. Are you a good speaker, communicator, effective communicator? If not, you have to start saying this, believing this, that yes, together with the action, believing, visualization, affirmation, and you also have to check, we have mentioned a couple of minutes back, is what is your environment? Again, I'll mention that when I was attending the webinars by ICAI, slowly I approached and become a speaker on that platform. So be there where you want to be. Attend the offline and online sessions, the area, the technical area that you want to take as a topic, as you want to be known for. Like Girish Ahuja sir, if we take direct X, which name comes first into our mind? Girish Ahuja sir. Read their books, watch their videos. This is what we are doing. We are making our environment. And always when we want to elevate our communication, I'll repeat, when we want to elevate our communication, we have to be in company with the people those are ahead of us in terms of communication. Then only we will improve. And last, when we are talking about breaking the mind barrier, together with all of these steps, taking action is important. Otherwise, you will not lead to anywhere. So let's suppose you have worked on your mind, your belief that yes, now you are the one who believes that I can do it. There is nothing in this world, not any kind of audience that I can't handle, that I can't present my topic of discussion. I can do it. The next point is when you'll decide to speak up is how to structure your thought. To take an example, this today's presentation, I want to put across these 4 points. So how to structure it so that audience will get maximum out of it? Isn't it important? Yes, it is, because that's what effective or a confident communicator is, not just going and delivering what you want to say. It only be effective when it will be well taken by the audience you want to address. And for that, structuring your thought is important. As Albert Einstein said, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. So I've heard it that anything, if you will be able to explain a 5-year child easily, it means you have understood by yourself it well. So what is the structure that we need to follow? And while deciding the structure, first thing, what we have to think is, what is my core message? What I actually want to share. From my today's presentation, my core message is, can you think it for a second? What is my core message? That to become a confident communicator, it is a skill anyone can learn. And I have given my own example that I have done it. From my childhood, at the age of 8, from my cousin brother, I came to know that yes, public speaking. I am a student of a Hindi medium school. Till 10th standard, I was in Hindi medium. So my cousin brother told me when I was 8 years old that I won in handwriting, essay writing competition. I was having few certificates and I was showing him proudly. And at that point of time, he said something which remained with me for long, that all of these are okay, but don't you take part in speaking and or elocution? I said no. He said that is more important than all of these. So we have started our discussion at the start, communication, no matter how much you know, right? Whether you are able to communicate, whether you are able to pass on that information effectively to the people around you is matter the most. And for that, what you want to share exactly. What is your core message? It gives you the clarity how to structure your thought. If you want, like at the end of today's session, what I want all of you to remember. So I'll not announce it now. It is for the last slide. I'll tell you what I want all of you to remember. But what is that one thing? If you will be presenting any topic, you want to remember, to be remembered by the audience. And thinking in pointers, because once we will have the pointers ready, what we need to put in for the explanation, for the better understanding, everything will fall in place. And to start with, Bhavi ma'am, am I going well? Is my
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead. You are with all the points online.
Okay. Thank you. To start with, because we have begun our journey from the start of our discussion as someone who is having self-doubt. So let's keep it simple for now. If you're starting your journey, divide your speaking structure in 3 portions: beginning, middle, and close. And when we talk about how much effort we need to put in these 3 areas is very crucial. Anyone here, keeping the technical glitch in today's session aside, anyone here notice that how I have started today's session? I have not taken straight to the discussion. Bhavi ma'am, do you remember? So you are representation of my all audience, 500 audience.
Yes.
So I'm asking you.
Very true. No, that is very important because see, the technical sessions we connect and we deliver, but the important part is to relate it to the audience is very important. We first start with
Yeah.
a journey that is relation to all.
Exactly. First, I have started. Those of you who forgot it, because we can understand it's 1:10, maybe near to lunchtime, you must be feeling sleepy. So I'll take you again from where we have started is I have started with my own story. And it is proven that, and all of us are aware that human attention span is very short. You are going to hear me or not. It will be decided in initial few minutes. And that's why we need to work and curate our opening carefully. Because that's the point. Remember when you are watching any YouTube video or a reel, in initial few seconds you decide whether you will be watching this till the end or not. Similar thing happen when we are about to present, whether our audience are going to listen to us in a webinar or they are going to exit from it, because now the technical team will be able to tell that do we have the audience intact or we left in between. So that will prove my effectiveness in opening the session and keeping it on in terms of curiosity and learning and sharing the takeaways, what to take action. You have to be careful with your beginning. While delivering the message using the example here, I'm having the best example of my session that I have taken in 2022. At that point of time, as I have taken through the whole presentation, it was only theory that I have discussed about the opportunities in different area. And at the end, I have received couple of questions related to practicalities. So what you are talking, are you able to relate those with the right example? Those can be relatable to the audience. And closing with the impact. What the key takeaways that you would like to keep your audience remember even after the session. And let me tell you one thing, after today's session, this I mentioned most of the time in my offline and online session. If most of you will choose not to take action, this 2 hours that you have spent will only tend to be an entertainment. Right, Bhavi ma'am?
Yes, but how the session would be useful
Only, yeah.
is
Yes.
also a tip in the session.
Yes. Yes. So again, to repeat, structure how you want to keep is starting what I am going to say. Keep it engaging. A story, a statistics, or a surprising fact to grab the attention. Remember when we are watching a movie or sometime when we do binge watching of the whole series, what kept us hooked from the start till the end, even after watching for hours and hours? It's the curiosity that that series kept us alive, right? That's
Yes,
what the content, that kind of a content we need to build in our presentation. So here, I brought in a famous TED talk by Simon Sinek, The Golden Circle. Start with why. It is an 18-minute video. We will not watch it completely because I have to cover the points that we need to discuss ahead. I just want you to observe initial 5 to 6 minutes how he starts his presentation. And not only this presentation, from now onwards, go and see on the YouTube, on the other platform, how great speakers choose to start their session, how they are grabbing the attention, how they are keeping the explanation at the middle, and how impactfully they close the session.
ma'am, sorry to interrupt for a minute, but
Yeah.
it would be an example for all the audience that the hype that was created, Kattappa ne Bahubali ko kyun mara?
Yes, exactly. Kattappa ne Bahubali ko kyun mara.
That was the communication part, and that has shook the whole series.
Yes,
Everywhere.
exactly. Thank you for sharing and mentioning at this point of time. So here is the presentation. Bhavi ma'am, just confirm if it is audible.
Yes, ma'am.
So where do you start when you have a
Audible?
Yes,
program
ma'am.
that's about integrating likes with passions? Well, you start with why. Why? And that kicks us off for the first speaker tonight, Simon Sinek, in his talk, Start with Why.
We assume even we know why we do what we do. But then how do you explain when things don't go as we assume? Or better, how do you explain when others are able to achieve things that seem to defy all of the assumptions? For example, why is Apple so innovative? Year after year after year after year, they're more innovative than all their competition. And yet they're just a computer company. They're just like everyone else. They have the same access, the same talent, the same agencies, the same consultants, the same media. Then why is it that they seem to have something different? Why is it that Martin Luther King led the civil rights movement? He wasn't the only man who suffered in a pre-civil rights America, and he certainly wasn't the only great orator of the day. Why him? And why is it that the Wright brothers were able to figure out controlled powered manned flight when there were certainly other teams who were better qualified, better funded, and they didn't achieve powered manned flight? The Wright brothers beat them to it. There's something else at play here. About 3.5 years ago, I made a discovery, and this discovery profoundly changed my view on how I thought the world worked, and it even profoundly changed the way in which I operate in it. As it turns out, there's a pattern. As it turns out, all the great and inspiring leaders and organizations in the world, whether it's Apple or Martin Luther King or the Wright brothers, they all think, act, and communicate the exact same way. And it's the complete opposite to everyone else. All I did was codify it. And it's probably the world's simplest idea. I call it the golden circle. Why, how, what? This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do 100%. Some know how they do it, whether you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean, what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. But the inspired leaders and the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. Let me give you an example. I use Apple because they're easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done. That's how most sales is done. And that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do. We say how we're different or how we better, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers with the biggest clients. We have, we always perform for our clients, do business with us. Here's our new car. It gets great gas mileage. It has, leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates.
Just notice it down
we
here.
do,
How he has given the previous two examples, how they promote and how Apple is doing.
we believe in challenging the status quo, but it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Totally different, right? You're ready to buy a computer from me. All I did was reverse the order of the information. People don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This explains why every single person in this room is perfectly comfortable buying a computer from Apple. But we're also perfectly comfortable buying an MP3 player from Apple, or a phone from Apple, or a DVR from Apple. But as I said before, Apple's just a computer company. There's nothing that distinguishes them structurally from any of their competitors. Their competitors are all equally qualified to make all of these products. In fact, they tried. A few years ago, Gateway came out with flat screen TVs. They're eminently qualified to make flat screen TVs. They've been making flat screen monitors for years. Nobody bought one. Dell came out with MP3 players and PDAs.
So we saw how to structure the speech. And this is one of the examples. You will see many of these. The point is the message that you want to share with your audience, how you want to present it. The example that we have used, a scenario I have given to you is on Monday, you want to present on the GST to your junior staff and how you will give that training. To be very precise, is are you going to touch upon the theory part in a boring way, or you want to mix it with a real life example of your client, their sale purchases is what going to make it interesting and more effective to get it retained by your audience. So very important point is how to structure your presentation, how you are going to deliver it. You have worked on your, I'm repeating, we have discussed how to build, how to work on the barrier that we have, the belief system, the negative belief system that we are having, and how to work on the structure. Now comes the practice, because right practice makes us perfect. Practice is mother of all learning. As Bruce Lee said, I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. And it is going to differentiate you. It is going to differentiate how effective the practice you are making to make your presentation perfect, and how to exactly practice. This question I'm receiving most of the time. If you are someone who is beginner, practice aloud. How it will help. If we'll keep on reading our content, it will not actually give us the feeling and the momentum of actually how you are going to speak, because you don't have to read it by yourself. You have to present it to your audience, right? It is one to many. Record and review. Say, for example, I remember that 30th September 2002 session, at 1 hour session, I did the mock twice of that session. If you will tell me now, I don't do the mock, I do practice my session, but it is not the way I did it earlier. So earlier it was a kind of a memorizing the content that initially, if we are not confident, it might happen that we will try to memorize what we want to speak. But slowly and gradually, when you develop that confidence, when you will have the command over what you want to share, it's only, as I mentioned at the start, you need to be clear about the pointer that you want to share with your audience. How you want to share it, what example you will be giving, how you will make them you'll make them relatable to your audience will happen very comfortably. And it will happen with practice. As I mentioned initially, how I was practicing. One was I've joined Toastmasters. Over there, those of you who are not aware of it, it is an international club international organization, it is helping people to work on their public speaking and communication skill. You'll find a club near to your location. It is everywhere. And they conduct a meeting once in a week, and there are various roles in the meeting. You can research about it in detail. So I'm someone who is still showing up in every meeting, speaking, taking the role as a host, and so on. And what exactly it is doing, it is enhancing the level of my delivery. Mock presentation, we have discussed about it. Mock presentation not only in isolation. If we want to correct ourselves, together with reviewing our own presentation after recording it, getting the review and the feedback from the near and dear ones will also help us to work upon the area where we need improvement. I have been through the presentation of some of the aspiring speaker. What they try to do is they simply read their content or try to memorize it. Please don't do it. Read it, understand it, and then try to explain in your word. Because then only you'll be able to make the connection with the audience. Simply reading and giving the information, this audience can do by themselves. What value addition we are doing? We are adding the pinch and the taste of our own experience and knowledge. We have discussed that in the structure part, that where the focus we need to put in. Similarly, when you will be practicing, put in your focus of how you will start your session, because that is one thing. It is going to decide whether your audience is going to listen for the rest of the session or not. It is a kind of judging the book by its cover. Your start will give a message how good you are in starting your presentation. Your communication will tell the audience that how good you are. Are you going to add value into their life by the time they are going to hear you? Together with the start, we have to work on the closing and the transition. You must be noticing, or in the past, you must have noticed that jumping from one point to other should be smooth. It should not be in a rush, and not a synchronization of thought. Because what it will do, it will drift the attention of the audience from the presentation if there will not be a smooth transition from one point to another, from one slide to another. Consistently. To give you an example, again, we will go back to that GST scenario I have mentioned. On Monday, you want to present, you have practice. Today is Friday, you will be practicing on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday is the presentation. And after that, you will stop practicing on your communication, your delivery. Because in near future, you are not having any assignment to speak. What it will do? It will diminish. It will actually decrease your speaking ability, whatever you have learned in that one training assignment. So if you have started, if you are someone who is keen to elevate your speaking skill, your communication skill, you need to be confident. And here I would like to mention that from the start, we are discussing about mindset. We have discussed about structure. We are discussing about the practice. But one important thing that you need to be conscious about your input. And what do I mean by input here? Say, for example, to speak for a 2 hour session, the one which I'm taking right now, it is not only the 2 hour of effort that I have put in, it is n number of hours that I have been researching, studying, working on my skill to prepare for an hour, there takes a lot of hours of study, preparation, knowing what the past research are there, how people are working on their communication skill. So if you have picked up a technical topic, you have to study, you have to take input of lot of information, the theory part, the practical part, how what is happening in the industry, what the other speaker are saying on that very topic. So it's about input. I call it input versus output. How much you are reading, how much information you are gaining, that will decide, that will reflect the quality of content you are sharing, what you are speaking, right? Only visualization, affirmation, and what the structure you will give if you're not having the content by yourself. And this development of content will only happen by reading, by listening to other speakers, by knowing the practicalities.
Ma'am, can I intervene for a minute?
Yeah.
Ma'am, we are on 1:30 and we have few questions. So if you allow, we start asking the questions. We have some from the audience.
Okay, can I take 10 minutes more? Then in 50, I'll wrap up quickly because
Yes, ma'am.
now few slide onwards, it's only verbal and non-verbal communication that I just want to mention, and then we are good to take questions.
Sure, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. So every day I do practice this. I make sure to follow this is 20, 20, 20. 20 minutes reading. Reading about the content you want to work upon. Say, for example, I'm passionate about soft skill, communication, storytelling. I do read stuff about it. I listen to the great speaker of this subject. Say, for example, if you want to choose, you have chosen GST. So, reading about GST 20 minutes daily, listening a good speaker on this subject, and only reading and listening will not suffice. You need to speak because that is the ultimate output we want. We want to polish our communication, how we deliver it, right? And visualization, it's practice in mind that we have discussed before the start in the visualization section. Then few of the common pitfall is not over practicing it, not rehearsing the whole script word by word, knowing the context where you going to present. It is a virtual offline session. What is the kind of a audience, what is their background, will help you to build a context. And paying attention to the feedback that you are receiving after every session when you will be delivering, being it a mock session or the real presentation that you'll be delivering, reaching out to the people to whom you trust and getting the feedback from them will help you to polish and become better version of yourself and elevating your delivery. When we are talking about the practice, one important fact that I would like to mention is focus. When we practice, most of the time, it happened with almost all of the speaker is we only focus on ourselves. Am I going to do it properly? Am I looking not nervous? Am I sounding nervous? It's only me, me, me. Why we want to speak, why we want to communicate. Either you would like to share information and experience that you have with yourself, that you feel that it will help people in their journey. You want to educate them. You have know something in the GST. I have used GST a lot in my example. So you have came across a case study. You have done the analysis, and you want to educate. Want to share this information. You want to motivate your audience. What you want. So, like I do share my childhood story for motivating the audience to take action and come out of their limiting belief. So, what is your intention? What is your why that you want to speak? Think about it focus on the message that you want to share and focus on your audience, it will help you to be mindful while presenting. Because where focus goes, energy flows. If you'll be focusing on yourself, how you're delivering, you'll tend to feel nervous. Focus on, yes, I want to add value in the people's life. Whatever time I'm going to speak, I'm going to leave them with a new piece of information. I'm going to ignite a spark in them to take an action, or I'm going to share a piece of information that will help them in their practice. Now, wrapping the whole thing into one bunch is knowing your content, what you are going to speak, having the clarity of your message. Are you knowing it well, what you want to share with your audience? Last piece of information is when you started delivering it. And these are the steps I myself have followed in the past. Is it's whatever I do share, it's not only the bookish knowledge or the great orators I've heard, it is mixed with my pinch of my life experiences. So when you will start speaking up, having the confidence, after that, you'll feel what next that I want to focus on. So as per the researcher Albert Mehrabian, there are the three things in the communication. So words only comprise of 7%. So how well I have been taken by Bhavi ma'am or rest of the audience is 55% I am missing out. The body movement, facial expression, because due to the technical glitch, my video have kept off. So Bhavi ma'am, it's only 38 and 7, close to 45% only I'm able to communicate as per Albert Mehrabian.
Yes.
And thank you to my internet connection. So polishing your gestures, your facial expression. There is a very good content available on TED. It is Your Body Language May Shape You Who You Are by Amy Cuddy. And she has explained it beautifully that the confident posture will help us to boost our confidence within 2 minutes. So I would request all of you to watch this video. And what you need to be mindful in the progress of your journey is how your body language is, keeping an eye contact, facial expression. I've noticed in the past that few speakers, when they receive questions, they are not having a welcoming gestures on their face, or looking puzzled or sad. Your face is the first thing you're going to present. How you look, how your hand movements are there, how your, if it is an offline session, how your leg are placed, how you are balancing your stance, how you are dressed. All of these are comprising 55%. Bhavi ma'am, I'm missing all of these today.
True, ma'am.
And then tonality. To tell you all of these, how tonality impact. So Bhavi ma'am has already mentioned me that we are it's already 1:30. We have to take Q&A, and I have requested that let me complete it in 10 ways. Are you noticing it? That last few sentences, how I have spoken? Are you feeling there is a rush in a way I spoken, Bhavi ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Rush in the sense you can calmly go ahead, no issues. But it's like questions are there, so we can just give them a justice too. So you can wrap it, no problem, for another 5 minutes.
It was an intentional rush that I want to demonstrate to our audience that having command on how we speak and what we speak is it plays a crucial role in what message we want to communicate. Working on the filler words, arms will help you enhance and elevate your performance. And last but not the least, it's words. What words we are going to use. Keep it simple and clear to make it easy to understand. At the end, before concluding, one thing I would like to say to all of you, and let me switch on my video, and I hope internet will
Now support.
I want to tell you one thing. If you are someone who wish to start your journey as an effective communicator and you are waiting for so long, like I have done in the past, I've told you the story of me being from 2009 to taking the real concrete effort and action in the year 2023. Do not fall into that trap. I would like to end my deliberation on a very beautiful song, one of my favorite songs from Maidan movie, starred Ajay Devgan. That line goes like this. जाए चले जाए हम तारों की ज़मीं पे, सपने तो हमारे रह जाएंगे यहीं पे. All of us will have to leave this planet. It is a harsh truth. And it's completely into your hand and your capability that how you want to lead this life. Do you want to take your dreams, aspiration and goals together with you for that heavenly, or you want to live all of them on this planet itself? If you want to if you wish to live all of them here itself, take that action not from tomorrow, from today, right after this session. All the very best to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, can we go ahead with the question answers part?
Definitely.
Ma'am, we have got few questions from the audience, and as you spoke the last lines from movie Maidan, there is one question from the audience that unless you act, you can never assess yourself. With more practice, we can refine. Only when you fail, you will learn to improve your perseverance. Right? So, ma'am, a person who is right now not a confident communicator, what you would like to highlight the first step that he should take? The very first step.
The very first step is having that consistency in practice. Like I have mentioned, the first thing I have done is enroll myself in Toastmaster. Together with that, what I have done, so finding the ways to practice in front of people. I have started my own YouTube channel. If you'll, I would request no one to search it. It is having a couple of subscribers, but when I have started it, it did the work I wanted. I've taken a 21 days challenge of public speaking, Bhavi ma'am, and every day, no matter what, I used to record a 5 to 7 minutes video. I remember that being a mother of 2 kids, I was not having a domestic help, full-time domestic help at that point of time. Some days I was recording video 2 a.m., 12 a.m., midnight, but I did it every day. And when I've reached to 6th, 7th video, I was taking the courage to post it on WhatsApp on my status and then started getting feedback that my delivery has improved. When I look back and see to those videos that how I've improved, the point is, see, the confidence will only increase when we will attempt.
Correct.
Right? So do not think too much. If you will sit and thinking that I'm not confident, this will increase because inaction lead to fear. Take action. Know where you are lacking. Find the opportunities. I have mentioned, I've started showing up in the session, started asking questions, finding the ways to speak up. If you're not finding any opportunities, start recording yourself on Zoom and put it on the social media on the topic of your choice. Last year, I have been taking free session on my platform on Art of Influence for helping people in their communication and public speaking skills. And trust me, when we teach, it is more than the audience, it's the trainer who learns the most. And Bhavi ma'am will agree to the fact that she herself being a trainer. So come out of all of those mind barrier and start practicing. And don't tell me that we being into the today's era of ICAI where we are having plethora of opportunity to speak up. You don't need YouTube or a Zoom. You don't have to record yourself in isolation. Reach out to the platforms. We have enough committees, and in WIRC there is a Yashashwini. They conduct session. Earlier it was on every Wednesday. Now I'm not sure on which days it is happening. You only have to decide. And if you are not finding opportunity at anywhere, do reach out to me. I'll just share my number. I'm having my own platform where we run a couple of sessions where we give opportunity to aspiring speakers. So act, start speaking. That's how you will be able to work on your lack of confidence and nervousness. मुझे सुनने से या किसी और स्पीकर को सुनने से it is not going to help. Action. If you have forgotten, is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's not the confidence that lead to the action. It's action that will give you the confidence. I remember those days when the first session that I gave, Bhavi ma'am, for that whole 1 month, I was not with actually physically I was with my whole family, but I was not. The whole 1 month went into preparation and having all the time that butterfly in my tummies. Kaise hoga? Kaise karungi? But now, slowly and gradually, it diminishes, and now it is habit. So it's being habitual of that, what we say, fear.
Ma'am, thank you. And now I'll pose a second question to you. What is the biggest mistake that people make when trying to appear confident in public?
Biggest mistake when they try to appear confident in public, memorizing what they want to say, because what happens is what I wanted to present in today's 2-hour discussion is only I myself is knowing what it is. Even if something will happen before or after, I put my number in the chat box again. My video is buffering.
Ma'am, your voice is diminishing.
Is it proper now?
Yes, ma'am. Please, can you repeat the answer?
Yeah. So first is trying to memorize the whole script to look confident. Another thing is not comfortable with their body language and the eye contact, working on their movements. Sometimes they'll make a stiff hand movement, some stiff gestures, or staring at few sections of the audience and not making a constant eye contact with the whole audience.
True, ma'am. And ma'am, the another question that comes up is if someone wants to start improve the confident communicator practice from tomorrow itself, right?
From today itself.
Yeah, from today itself. Let's make it more clear. Today itself, what is the first thing that they should start with?
First thing that they should start is, I've mentioned 20 minute exercise.
Yes.
Start taking input of the area that you want to speak. GST is my major example.
Yes, yes.
Hear a good speaker for 20 minutes and then speak. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Please off your video and now you're audible.
Yeah, I've offed it. Switched off it. Next question. So practicing, not waiting for the Shubh Muhurat to start from tomorrow. From today itself, start speaking and record yourself when you'll be speaking for those 20 minutes and see how your facial expressions are, your gestures are, how your pace and tonality is. And next day, when you will be practicing it, keep note of it, being aware of it. You'll see the improvement from first to third and fourth day itself. You'll start noticing your improvement.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would just like to give a brief wrapping up of the session with Kalpana, ma'am. She has incited us with so many things. So, in that note, I would just like to brief up her whole conversation for 2 hours in just small 15 points, a very brief bullet points. Hope, ma'am, you can pinpoint me out when you think that that was not a part. First of all, she explained us how to learn from others and engage in the topics that interest you. Make an effort to socialize in different settings. This will increase your confidence. Focus on the message you want to share. You know, whatever message is very clear, you share it up. Don't feel pressurized to speak up. Open up about a skill set that you are expert in. Try with all these communication practices with the set of skills that you already acquire. Partner with an extrovert co-worker who can help you to develop your confidence. Begin with a small talk. She emphasized in her session most of the times that please start it with a small talk. Control the conversation and make it precise. Utilize listening skills to develop your connections for communication. Prepare questions so that you can open up by speaking to your co-workers. She said you start your communication in the office. That is a base where you can start. Allow yourself time to think topics through. Change your mind all the time from one topic to another, which will give you more thoughts to be improvised. Practice communication again and again. In all her slides, she emphasized on how to practice communication. Understand what you need to be successful. Here you have to be focused. She mentioned in her slide what is to be focused. 20. She again repeated in her questions. Write down notes. If you are having so much of thoughts, write it down. That will help you. And start out with small and grow. It will make you more comfortable in this area of public speaking. So, ma'am, it was a wonderful session with you. You have really covered all the important topics for the confident communicator. The underline and the base point that we start on is try practicing today, and you will feel the confidence coming out of you all the time. Now, on this session, I will like to give a vote of thanks to ma'am. Like, it has been such an honor to be a part of this wonderful webcast on the Confident Communicator, organized by the Professional Skills Enrichment Committee, ICAI. ICAI is committed to excel the knowledge and the level of the people, aspiring chartered accountants, and the people who have been benefited out of so many webcasts. As ma'am also has mentioned rightly that in 2022, after attending the various webinars of ICAI, she has been on to this level. So ICAI is always excelling the standards of the excellence for the students as well as for the members. On behalf of this committee, I would like to extend a heartfelt gratitude to ma'am, our CA Kalpana Thakur, ma'am, an eminent speaker, for enlightening the session. Ma'am, you have been today, and this has been one of the important sessions which will be remembered and listened all the time. We thank you all here present for giving us a valuable opportunity to deliver the best of ICAI to all the listeners. And here we present and helping to make this a grand success. We invite suggestions as well as some more topics in future. We can deliver you still more. Thank you all, and I end up here. I thank all the coordinators for this session, the technical team, Dr. Sambit Mishra, sir, our president, sir, chairman for this committee, C.A. Jai Chera, sir, and the vice chairman, sir, C.A. Abhay Shajid, sir, for attending the sessions and enlightening us. Have a nice day, and we wrap up our session for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone, for bearing with this technical glitch I'm facing in my connectivity.